I didn't even realize that I had turned to the live scene until just now. Okay, well, hello and welcome to Not So Lonely Nights. I'm your host, Eridon. Tonight is Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles on the GameCube. I was having a little bit of an issue getting it all hooked up. Let's go to just chatting. Camera's still... it's still kind of grainy, but it's fine. Oh, Forsaken Poet followed. It's a friend of Dragon. Oh, man. So I know this is a nightly review where, I gauge interest and all that jazz. Tonight is a little bit so I can cheat on that karaoke challenge I promised, because I never really found a good time to... Oh, we are... Nope. Never found a good time to record, or would convince myself not to do it. But I know and love the opening of Crystal Chronicles a lot. It's my original case, just because, that's cool. I got it for $35 at an electronics boutique when that was still a thing in the US. Which, if you guys are aware, GameStop bought EB and replaced all of their stores in the US. It did lead to a really funny situation, though, because there was an EB and a GameStop in our local mall. And so after GameStop bought EB, they changed the EB to a GameStop, so that we had two GameStops in the mall, just like... they were on other ends of the mall, but they were still really close to each other. So they eventually shut down the one that used to be an EB, which sucks because I think that was the better location. But sorry, the guidebook isn't in there. I know I have the guidebook around somewhere. I actually have a bin filled with strategy guides and the booklets from these old games when they had them. I miss those. A few games still come out with them, but oh. I'm watching the clock as it gets closer and closer. And you guys are just sitting there letting me ramble to the void. Yeah. Bab believes in me. Bab has heard me sing this song several times. Let's see. But, so as a kid though, I actually would start new save files on this game over and over and over, because I love the opening song to this game so much. And I played it with a friend, which, if you don't know, this game is 4-player co-op, but back in the day there was only one way to do the co-op, and that was by using these. I've decided to put the Game Boy Advance SP on a charger for the time being, but Did anybody even have these? Does anybody even remember them? Because this was the one of the special weird peripherals that they had for the GameCube. Animal Crossing? Oh yeah, Animal Crossing, the original one. If you plug this in, it was the only way to go to get Tortimer to show, or not Tortimer, Kappa to show, or Captain to show up and ferry you to the island to get the. It was the only way to get coconuts, and there were 4 Aloha shirts, 2 in blue and 2 in red. Yep, that was cool. 2 other things that these were used for games that I own. Phantasy Star Online for the GameCube you could plug this in after doing a specific mission to unlock here it goes. To unlock a unique Tails Chow that you could transfer to Sonic Adventure 2 or Sonic Adventure. So that was cool because you could upload your Chow from those games to the GameCube or to your Game Boy Advance and play mini games with them. Four Swords Adventure used it. I do actually have the original release of Four Swords Adventure. It is a bizarre tie-in, but that is because Sega did publish Phantasy Star and Sonic. The weirdest thing is like that Tails Chow that you could get was even the craziest looking of all of the Chow because it was just Tails as a Chow. So it had 2 tails and it was orange and all that jazz. But the only way to get it was you had to get so far in a normal mission of Phantasy Star Online, and then once you completed it, instead of leaving normally and collecting your reward, you had to use the warp pipe item that teleported you back. It was a way for you to escape from a dungeon to restock and then go back to the dungeon.
Trying.
You had to do that, and then you'd go back into the level with the pipe, and then there would be an NPC there that you talk to, and then he would say, if you've got one of these, you can get your Chow.
Grumpy Bab.
Grumpy Bab. All right, let me grab water, and when I come back, it will be time.
Here, Bab. Entertain the masses. Oh, yeah. Say hi. Can you say hi?
Yay.
Yay. I knew you want to.
Such a fuss bear.
She wants the controllers. She wants to play. When you're older, Bab.
I guess I have one more quick little thing before I start. I am going to be switching to Stream Elements soon for streaming, which should allow a few PC games to run a little bit smoother, and will also allow me to finally actually make some merchandise. So I'm going to talk with some people. We're going to probably make a Praise the Bab shirt. And then a few other things. But I gotta hit up the artist and get some of those things resized to fit. But they do shirts, hoodies, mugs, mouse pads. Let me know on Discord if there's any particular thing that you would want to see. But I'm really excited by the fact that that's a thing I can do. Wear a hat or a wig. You're really gonna do that, right? Oh. Well, You know what? Since I'm embarrassing myself enough already, let's wear... I'll put on this Nightmare Before Christmas fedora. Am I nerdy enough yet? Where is it? There it is. See? It's got a Jack Skellington on it. Drip. Alright. Oh. Wrong one. Is the game's sound good? I don't want to overpower it too much. Alright. Oh, blind myself. Here we are. Here we go. Yeah, it's gonna get posted. Feel free to clip. Dreaming of the stars on high that speak to me in secret sighs, drifting on a breeze. Only I can feel and hear. Could it be the sacred wind that's calling me to now begin to walk into the dark, carrying the light of tomorrow, beating on the wings up high, beyond the earth, beyond the sky. But now, don't hesitate, don't look back, we've got to go now. Don't fear, we'll be safe from now on. Morning sky watching over all. Deep inside, so silently, my heart will speak. Deep inside of me, memories flickering and shimmering on endlessly. Keeping close to the path, morning sky watching over all. Moving on the endless mountains up so high. Walking to the light, your heart will see the path and you will find the way. Just wait and moving on the endless sky up so high. Tomorrow will follow any route your promises today. Just wait and see. And there you have it. Okay. Give me a second to wind down. I'm shaking a little bit from my own nervousness. I don't feel like I have to... Oh my god. Well, thank you for that. Can you tell I've practiced that one? I have sang, like I said, I have sang that song since my childhood. When did this game even come out? 2004? So, you know, I've been listening to this song off and on for the years. And, I sang it 3 times today before now, just practicing because I didn't want to disappoint. So okay, well there you go. The karaoke challenge has finally been fulfilled, and I'm sorry, I know my AOL mail went off in the middle of that, because of course it did. And I actually need to check that because I'm watching for an important email, and of course it wasn't anything that mattered. Yeah, but if I get any hear any email tones, I apologize, but I'm actually looking for parts for building a new computer so we can play games like God Eater 3 and Doom while streaming without the computer exploding. Okay, now we can start the game proper. So come, let us record your adventures in this journal. It shall be known as the Crystal Chronicles. But first we must know the name of your hometown. What shall we name the town? I'm gonna let you guys do that. But now you guys don't have a karaoke challenge to hold over my head. Dragon! Oh boy. You know how to make an entrance. Hey, Dragon, actually, I'm gonna put you on the spot since you just came in. Name the town. And you're here for 2 minutes. You missed the karaoke. But, Dragon, name our town. Avendor. Works. You are much faster at that than I normally am. It fits, it works. The morning of my departure was here at last. I tried to brace myself for the journey ahead. There was a field along the main road where I decided to camp until sunrise. Tomorrow, I set out in search of Myr. Myr? I always forget how to... Oh yeah, so... Oh yes, thank you for grabbing that shout out. I am terrible about remembering that. So just as a really neat thing, you can actually bring a friend. So if you and a friend had this game, you could bring your save data from another memory card and upload it so that you could temporarily play and all that. So I'm a game used to DM. Okay. So now to make our character, we will make Eridon. Okay, bye. Alright, if you're still streaming when we're done, I'll make sure that we hit you up. But I think we ended around the same time. But you guys should definitely go check out Dragon whenever you can. He's way cooler than me. Alright. So, Eridon, mechanically speaking, is gonna be a clavet. Headband's cool. Natural that's the default. Cowlick is not cool. Kind of like Cap. So, just to keep giving stories, because this game is going to be filled with stories of my childhood. Like the song you're hearing right now drove my mother insane. I would play just about anything. I think I usually wound up playing a Selkie or a Uke. Ukes are the magic class, more or less. So they all have these helmets that cover their faces. And, I think I always use Black Mage. That's kind of the default, but I liked it a lot. But Selkies were also really cool and fun because they're very agile. But my friend always played a clavet with the headband, and he was the blacksmith. Which is actually the best thing to have in town because you can't get the coolest stuff without it. But I'm gonna go with Cap, and I will still go with blacksmith just for the sake of having the blacksmith. Because each of your characters' family runs one of the shops in town, and if you want the Ultima weapons for each character, you have to have the blacksmith and you have to have the blacksmith, the alchemist, and I think you have to have the merchant, because you need to be able to buy things from the merchant and the alchemist. But you also have to play as those characters and level up your relationship with your families to unlock the ability to make the better ones. Anyway, today you finally step out into the world in search of I'm gonna say Myrrh, because I'm pretty sure that's what it is. You come safely back to Avendor, alright? Should you find any materials for smithing, bring them back to us. We'll forge you a fine weapon. We'll miss you. If you make any friends out there, be sure to bring them round. Be sure to eat well. But I love that you get a family, so Eridon, the blacksmith's son, is sent off by his father Arian, his mother Christy, his sister Minty, and his brother Samuel. It randomly generates a family for your characters, so one thing that sold me so hard on this game as a kid is the fact that it felt like my character meant something. He was part of, he was part of a village. Alright. Well, I'm gonna show you this, or not show you, but I am gonna hook this up now. Hopefully it's charged enough. Because I think we're almost to the part where it's actually going to be usable. Oop, I didn't mean to go back into town. So they'd recently remastered this game about, it was just a few months ago. And I have the remaster on the PS4, and I considered playing that one instead of this one for today, but they actually re-recorded that opening song, Morning Sky, and the newer version is not very good, in my opinion. They changed the flow of so much of the song that it feels weird. So... Hail, fellow caravaner! You are the caravan from Avendor, are you not? I heard that they were sending out a new caravan. You seem quite capable. My name is Solracht. Is that because of how I'm talking? Hail, friends! I am captain of the caravan from the great fortress of Alphataria. Our caravan boasts a history that stretches back thousands of years. But let us discuss that some other time. Stiltskin, do you have a moment? This is the caravan from Avendor. Come on, say hello. Allow me to introduce Stiltskin. He may not look it, but he is a seasoned adventurer. Even we turn to him for counsel from time to time. I'm debating on a voice, but... No, I'm just a Moogle that likes to get around. Sorry, no voice. I learned all sorts of things in my travels before I knew it. I'm on my way somewhere right now, but I can teach you a thing or two if you'd like. So this is just where he would teach you. He's the tutorial. I highly recommend you accept his offer. Yes, you wouldn't want to miss out. No, I'm fine. Well, I'm sure he will do just fine. By the way, are you setting off out all by yourself, Kupo? You've got a lot on your shoulders, Kupo. Let me carry the crystal chalice for you, Kupo. Yes, a capital proposal. Let Mog help you. Be careful out there. You don't want to get in over your head. So, an interesting thing, if you are starting this game in co-op, Mog isn't even here. So you skip that little bit of dialogue. So they had... These scenes actually changed in multiplayer, not just from having other people, but the race of the characters mattered too. So if you have, I think these guys have special dialogue if you are or have a Lilty in the party, because they are Lilties. So there are a lot of things that can change the way this game plays out just by which characters you make, and that's actually one of the biggest disappointments of the remaster that they made, because the remaster doesn't have you playing with other people outside of the dungeons, so you're always alone in those cutscenes. But after those cutscenes, and if you make any decisions, it gets added to your journal, and you can go read it at any time, and it's all written from your caravan's perspective. So you don't know, it doesn't really specify who in the group is writing down those messages, but somebody in the caravan is keeping a record, a shared record of every event that happens.
They say that wicked creatures prowl the road along this beautiful riverbank, but nobody's ever seen one. I once asked a man why. He simply replied, because anybody who happens upon one is promptly eaten. But it is long since anyone has met such a fate. For nowadays, people take another route, far away from the spooky old road. Only we walk the old way now, travelers in crystal caravans.
I did always love these little intros. I always thought that log there looked like a zombie's face. The River Bell Path. But those intros, I love them. Just the narration is great. So, in single player, this isn't really a big deal, but in multiplayer, this is where everybody has to have these as their controllers, because you can't pause the game in multiplayer because they felt that would be annoying. So you have, whenever you would pause in multiplayer, you would stand still, and it would tell everybody on the screen that you were in the menus, but you would access all of your menus that you're going to see on screen on the Game Boy. So you always have attack and defend equipped, and then you can equip all sorts of different things between spells and items. Another thing that's really cool is every character has their own randomized set of likes and dislikes with food. So my character loves striped apples, cherry clusters, and rainbow grapes, and hates fish, meat, and corn. So he likes fruits, and he doesn't like meat. Huh. But the more you like a food, the more you heal from eating it. So if I eat a fish, I'll get like a quarter of a heart back. But if I eat a striped apple, it'll give me like 6 hearts. But you see that there are meters, because the more you eat a food, the more it will heal you. So even though my character hates fish, if I just keep eating fish, he'll eventually grow to love it. But then other foods will start to go down. So it kind of balances that you can't make everything fully heal you, but you can still like everything enough to get where no food is wasted. Also, you get to develop the relationship with your family to unlock those better things. And you'll see how that works later. So, I have the Crystal Chalice, and in single player you use it to push buttons. But the world is covered in miasma, which is poisonous and will kill you if you stand in it. So you have to stay close to the chalice. In multiplayer, one person has to carry the chalice. In single player, that's why they give you Mog. Okay. Combat's a little weird because you actually have to time button presses. If you just mash as fast as you can, you won't do any combos, and you wind up leaving yourself open. Is Bab going to bed?
Let's try again.
Good night, Bab. I love you.
Way out of it.
Yeah. You can also do charge attacks, which is different for each race. There we go. Sorry, it's going to take me a minute to get reacquainted with all of the buttons. I don't want Phoenix down. So the only buttons, because the whole game was played with the Game Boy Advance, you only have the shoulder buttons. How'd they do it? It was the shoulder buttons would switch your attack, defend, and spells. A to attack, B to interact with things. And then start and select would be your way of getting to the menus. So, okay. Also, if you go long enough without fighting, Mog will get tired. And if he gets tired, then he will he'll slow down. And you'll wind up getting caught. And the Cure Stone. That's what I needed. So now I can cast Cure. So the spells, you don't have them naturally. You have to find a crystal in each of the levels to get them, and they go away at the end of the stage. So they're not even permanent. But I'll get into how it works later. So food is nice. Oh, that's right, that's a dead end. Food is nice because it's instantaneous. But spells are infinite. So it's instant consumable versus having to stand and cast the spell. Should be noted that lilties actually take longer to cast spells, and ukes are the fastest at casting spells because they are a magic race. That's a life stone, I don't need that. Another fun thing. Nope. Come on. Can set the oil on fire. And when I get thunder, I can also, with thunder or ice, I can freeze water. So in the remaster, I was leveling just about every character, which is not something that I ever did in this one. Because, again, I frequently restarted the game, so I didn't really ever get far, and I was always playing it with a friend, and I am sucking at the combos. There's Thunder. I want to equip it, but Thunder is actually pretty useless here. You can always find at least one of each of the elemental stones. There are 6 different stones, I want to say. There's Life, Cure, Thunder, Fire, Blizzard, and... Clear. And those are all the spells you can get. So, there's another mechanic that really encouraged multiplayer. Which was spell fusion. So in multiplayer, you would cast a spell, and another person would have to put a compatible spell. You'd stack them over each other, and then cast the spell. And then they would fuse together into into whatever spell you wanted. Oh, I am backtracking. I don't have a map, I don't think. Alright, this thing is, the Game Boy is still not working, so... Aha! Here it is. I was trying to find this area for the fat loots. can't use glove recipes. So another thing that's kind of neat is that all of the equipment is race specific. It's neat in theory, but you can't actually trade. There's certain items you can't trade with other players. But like, I picked up the novice's weapon, so any player can use that to craft the level 1 weapon. Alright, but you can see right here, I got 2 Blizzard Stones. Blizzard and Fire make Gravity, but Blizzard and Blizzard makes Blizzara. Which is strong enough to freeze, actually freeze enemies. But we don't need that. Cure doesn't fuse with anything, I don't think. Does it fuse with life? No. I forget. Life fuses with something to make, see, life fuses with something to make holy. Oh, now I do want Blizzara. Dang it. So I've just picked up a Moogle Pocket, which gives me an extra item slot. I also missed a whole area. That's fine. There's another treasure up here. I've played this game so many times, and again, this is the first level, so I've done this level a lot. The area I skipped I don't think really has anything worthwhile, though. I was saying gear, so like, the novice weapon recipe will make a novice weapon for each player, but Clavets, which is what I am, have the shield. Ukes have sallets, helmets, which are helmets. Selkies, I would think, have bangles or like bracers. I really don't remember. And Lilties have gloves. And then I think the chest armor is the same between all of them. Yeah, I think the armor is the same, and then accessories are shared. But here's a Moogle home. Oh, a caravanner, Kupo! There's no Mertree here, Kupo! Sorry we can't offer you anything, Kupo. We just moved here, so we really have nothing to offer, Kupo. So they just moved in. It's cute. Okay, it is time for the first boss. And it's probably my least favorite boss in the game. Well, in the early game. But I hope you guys are liking this. I mean, since I haven't played the remaster, a lot of this game is still fresh in my mind, but it always, even if I don't generally stick with this game for very long, I always feel happy with it. Me was slow. that bubble slows you. It doesn't hurt, it just slows. Stop with the slow bubble. Do your lightning attack. Come on, lightning. Well, I guess that works. Ow. There's the lightning attack. Alright, now it doesn't have its claws, so all it can do is the head slam and the slow bubble. Whoa, that framed great. Because that jump actually does no damage, which is hilarious to me. Ow. Yeah, I don't think I've ever tried to get a good look at the weapons and things that are stuck on it. Okay, now it casts Thundara. And this is where this fight can get really unfair. Because it can stun lock you with that spell. So close to dead. Got it. I only had to heal once. That's the best I think I've ever done against it. Although Clavets are they're the highest in defense of all of the races. Ukes have the highest natural magic. Loyalties are the most naturally offensive, and Selkies are, I think, the most balanced. So Clavets are your choice if they're like the easy mode ones. I don't want to call it that really, but they're the most naturally survivable. Loyalties require you to be really aggressive and you gotta be good at your dodging. Ukes have, because of their magic affinity, that means you do a lot of running, charging spells, and casting it, so it can be the most boring in some ways. But they do have the best defensive skill. They actually can turn themselves invisible, and they're completely invulnerable while they're invisible, and there's a boss, might actually be the next boss I'm gonna fight, is the Orc King. And when he gets to low health, he powers up like a super move, and he self-destructs, and he kills himself, but he can kill everybody else in the room. And if you're a Uke, you can just go defense, and it can't touch you. And you don't even have to worry about the DPS check. You just wait for him to kill himself. So this is the other really, really fun thing that also really draws you into the game. After every level you beat, you get a letter from Roland. He's the town mayor. So you get a letter from home or other characters that you've met along the way. How is everything? You may be facing hardships that drag your spirits down, but always remember that the caravan gives hope to us all. May you return safely, Eridon. And then you can give a reply, and you can send things back if you want. Generally, you only need to send things back to your family, but it's another cute little addition that can um, really pull you into things because you get letters from your family. And this was another one of the disappointments in the remaster, because in the remaster, you'll finish the level, and the host will get a letter from their family, and the letters are what progress the story. So your family will send, they'll get their letters, but if you are helping another player, as soon as it gets to the screen, you don't get a letter, you just kind of sit there, and it sucks. But in this one, everybody is working on the same town, and their families, everything, so... What's up, Thomas Crane? You missed my torture. So at the end of each level, you get a certain number, some artifacts that you find through the level, or that are just randomly generated at the end. And the order in which players get to select them, because you only get one, and this is the only way to, quote-unquote, level up. So... I always go with the Moogle Pocket first. Hang on, I'm gonna do this real fast. I feel like there is a teeny bit of sound lag now, and it's really bugging me. And there probably isn't any. Have you heard of the Black Knight? They say he's on a journey to master the art of swordsmanship. Few these days ever set out to better themselves. You would do well to master something before your journey ends. And that's it. But they're fun. And the Black Knight is one of the longer running storylines in the game. Because that's the other thing that's neat, is other characters, other NPCs, have their own stories. And you aren't really part of them. They're not your story. So you hear about the stories of the Black Knight, and you might meet him. You do run into him. More than once, actually. But even, no matter what is going on with the Black Knight, it never involves you. You always just observe whatever. So... There's also one other secret kind of thing in every area. And that is a Moogle home. So you go into the Moogle homes and you can unlock all sorts of little things. So they give you Mog stamps. He's going to explain what they are. Basically, every time you find a Moogle, they'll give you a stamp. There's 23 Moogles. Every time you complete a set of stamps, then you get a reward. And you get... I know there's a mini game that you have to play on the Game Boy. But... the other thing is that you can paint Mog. You can wash the colors and you can cut his fur. But we'll go with green. Always bet on green. I actually don't like him looking green, but there's actually a special reason to do so. If whatever the majority of his color is, affects a certain gameplay mechanic. In the remaster, they changed it a little bit, I think, so that it affects what spells he'll cast. So, green makes him cast Thunder more often, because he can cast spells. In the remaster, I don't think he can attack at all in this one. Not that I recall, at least. Red, Fire, blue, blizzard, and then uncolored, whatever. He'll cast whatever. But in this one... I wonder if I just have to reset the game. I wonder if that's why the Game Boy's not working. I don't think that's how it works, though. Anyway, I think... I don't remember exactly what they all were. One of them shows you the stats of monsters. So you can see their hit points, you can see what items they drop, and you can see their weaknesses. One of them, I think green, because I know I always made him green. I'm pretty sure green is the map. So it gives you a mini map of the whole, of wherever you are. And I don't remember what the other one was. So the final kind of gameplay thing that's really important is the miasma stream. So the chalice, you'll notice, has a color on the ring and the crystal on top of it. So you'll see I made it blue. It is water element because I threw it on a thing. You can't go through the miasma streams unless the chalice is of the same element as the miasma stream. So that's also how they sort of gate off areas in the first couple years. Confound it, a miasma stream. I can't stand these things. They're so irritating. We Moogles aren't fazed by miasma, but these places give us the creeps. But for you people, the danger of miasma is always on your minds, right? Travel would be more pleasant if we didn't have to worry about places like this. On the other hand, it would also be pretty dull without a challenge now and then. These streams can be a bother, but what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, right? So, you can only get so far until you can get the appropriate element in the right area. And as you progress through the game, once you hit a certain point, you'll pretty much always have the elements available to you, and once you beat a level, you never have to play the level to get the element again. So I can go click on Riverbell Path, and I can just choose an element. There is one of the hidden long quests in the game is to get the ultimate element, which will give you... or the Ultima element, which can go through any miasma stream. And the final miasma stream is of the Ultima element. Hello there! You're the caravan from Avendor, aren't you? You've come a long way. Why isn't it a fine day today? I hope your journey is as bright and clear as the sky is now. But crops don't grow without rain. Oh, alright then. I hope your journey has some rain, too. Hopefully you'll grow through your travels and end up stronger than when you started. May that be true for both our caravans. So that's... each of the towns that you interact with in their caravans. So you'll be able to visit every town from the caravans that you meet. And you also will notice that outside of your town, every town's caravan is made up exclusively of one race. So Alphataria are all Lilties. Those were the Clavets from the Fields of Fum. Or Fum. I've always said Fum. I don't remember the name, but there's Selkies from wherever they're from, and the Ukes from Shella. And I don't remember the caravan from Mars Pass, but I believe they were all Lilties as well. But Alphataria is the closest thing there is to, like, a capital city. on the Moogle. There's only one of this particular mock stamp, so you can play the minigame right away. You can only play this minigame in multiplayer mode. Oh, okay. Game Boy still isn't connecting. It's strange. Maybe the cable's not working. Well, real quick, are you the weaponsmith? You're the armorsmith. I would rather have a weapon over armor because I prefer a strong offense. Oh, I don't have any iron. Okay. Well, something else... Oh man, those classic sound effects. So something else that is really cool, though, is... Let me check something real fast. Okay, I had it plugged into the wrong slot. I thought, for some reason I had in my head it had to be plugged into slot 4. It was slot 2. So, I don't know if it's really visible, but... yep, so green makes it a map. And it shows me my stats. And the background is also the clavet symbol. So, there you go. Pretty cool. But, you want to see something else? Because you were talking about, we just said it would be fun to play in multiplayer, but everybody has to be connected with a Game Boy Advance and a thing. You can't have one person on the GameCube controller. But I have another Game Boy Advance SP, and I have an off-brand. An off-brand connector. So I have everything needed for 2 players. And if I had another cord, I have another Game Boy Advance, so I could do 3 players. Shut up, you're a nerd. I even have a Game Boy link cable, which is another super uncommon thing. Oh, shut up. Although, I need to hit the restroom because, you know, for all that prepping for all that singing and the nervousness, I drank a lot of water. So, I will be right back. Alright, we're back. And I have a piece of bacon. How many of those wireless GBA adapters? I don't have any wireless adapters. You got me there. Alright, the Mushroom Forest. Actually, this one's okay. It's easy to get lost if you don't know what you're doing. And I will probably get lost.
When I was a child, I once asked my mother, where did I come from? She answered, why, we all sprouted from the mushroom forest, of course. Nightmares soon haunted my sleep. I dreamt that I was lost among the toadstools. I awoke in tears, but felt the warmth of my mother's embrace as she comforted me. It is something I still remember to this day.
Yeah, don't tell your kids we were sprouted in a mushroom forest. That's totally what I'm telling Bab. Yeah, cure. Oh, it's showing me... Okay, so green is the enemy stats one. So, it tells me how much health the enemies have. It said that that little caterpillar is vulnerable to fire, resistant to lightning, and that one dropped a cure. It's just super cool to have the game to be able to, like, track that stuff. Now, the way it works in multiplayer that's kind of cool is that each individual player has different information. Vulnerable to fire, slow, and paralysis. Okay. So it looks like fire is the spell to be using, and I don't have fire yet. But thunder isn't worth it. Oh, actually I do need gravity, though. Vulnerable to cold, okay. Man, it is helpful to be able to look at that stuff. So this is how you could get lost. Not knowing that you have to, like, spring. So, if you don't use gravity, those things only take 1 damage per hit. It's that way for every enemy that flies. So you got to make sure And that's where... Oh, that takes me back to the beginning. But that's where multiplayer is so important, to coordinate your spells together. It was a hedgehog pie. Vulnerable to cold and lightning. Yep, got me with slow. I forget, is Cura a thing in this one? It is not. Thundara is. Rick. Mage Masher. That's another blizzard. Is that 3 blizzard stones? Oh, clear. That's gonna be super important. Blizzard. Blizzard. No, just 2 blizzards? Okay. But no, clear is going to be helpful because it clears poison. Of course, I still need gravity. So you do have an inventory limit, so I know I'm like hoarding everything, but I eventually always run out of space because of, mostly because of all the food that I hoard. Because I never want to use it, because I have cure. Food is more important when you get to the higher difficulty things. And some people would probably argue that it's best to, you know, work on your character's likes and dislikes early. But ain't nobody got time for that. Ooh, a chunk of gold. I missed. It's almost boss time. The boss is actually right in this next room. So, I don't need gravity for it, but I do need clear because it can poison. And we'll see what its weakness is. I'm probably just gonna melee it, but... Also, my bonus is don't cast spells. Screw that. It's a Malboro! Oh, that's why I'm not attacking. I had Cure equipped still. Alright, he doesn't have any strengths or weaknesses, so he just has a lot of health. And he's casting stop. And there's bad breath. Frickin' respawns. Alright, let's go ahead. Draw me in. Beat you up. No bad breath. Halitosis plant. Ah, got me with the slow. No! Oh, it got its stink on me. Now no girl's gonna want to date me. Why couldn't I get a date? A giant plant burped on me. What do you mean I don't need any girls trying to date me? I need all the girls trying to date me. Nothing but trouble, but I want a harem. But you don't have to worry, because the giant plant burped on me. So they're gonna stay away, because I stink. Yeah. Anyway, I don't really need the Game Boy anymore, but I just wanted to show you guys that neat feature. It is a little weird to be playing a level and then having to, like, look at this, but it's no different than when you're playing a game looking at a walkthrough or something. I always loved your character's reflection in the water. We should get a crystal chalice. A real one. It will protect us from all the poison. You know, apparently the one of the latest things about pollution is that it's been making men's dicks smaller. Apparently that's a side effect of pollution. But I got a letter from my mother. So how does it feel to be out on the road? We miss you very much. Is there anything you need out there? Don't hesitate to ask for anything you need, alright? I need more love. And then I will send her a... I thought I had... Yeah, fruit seed. Ooh. Another heart. Yeah, got more health. As you can tell, I generally prioritize the utility of having more items, more equipment slots, and more health over the more practical things like having more strength. And the mine of Catharige? I don't know. The mine.
When the grandfather of my grandfather's grandfather was still a child, no one in this land could challenge the might of the Lilties. They forged weapons of iron to bring the world under their dominion. But eventually, the mine was exhausted,
The dancing
and
ones.
the Lilties' unstoppable conquest ground to a halt. The Lilties' ambition vanished along with the iron. They abandoned the mine, where monsters now thrive.
Yep, those little tiny Lilties used to rule the world. Also, I love that all the lanterns are just trapped bombs. Alright, so the way that this dungeon works is you have to take this minecart. Also, you might have noticed that I never defend. There's actually a tiny delay when preparing your defend, and it's generally not worth it. And when you kill a bomb, it explodes. I don't remember there being a whole lot of instances where blocking is better than just trying to cut an enemy off. So I can tell you, you can spend a long time in the mines if you don't know where you're going. Especially because they could try to trick you with a lot of, there's a lot of areas you can explore and there's just nothing anywhere. You really just want to follow the forward route. Oh, and if you didn't catch it, doing this charge attack is the same as doing a full 3-hit combo in one swing. Yeah, I think somewhere around here there's like a pathway. Oh, there's a treasure chest over here. But you can kind of see there's like a walkway up above, and there's a bunch of ways you can get up there, and there's just nothing there. So I'm not sure if more stuff might show up there later, or if there's probably some reason to it, but way to block the wrong direction, dumbass. He was so dumb, I stabbed him in the ass repeatedly. Slow. Okay, so life and fire makes slow. And I think if you switch it and you make it fire over life, that's what makes holy. Clear. I don't think there's a reason to do clear. Yeah, there's like a big enemy over here. I don't know what this thing is, but they have lots of health. A green beret. I love all the items you pick up, the artifacts, because they're just like a shuriken. Cool. I think a magic item is a dragon whisker. That makes sense. That's cool. But there's also like, I don't remember. The I'm trying to remember some of the weird items. Jeez. I think he figured out that I can't stop his offense of punch repeatedly. Oh, there it is. It's like, I know he drops a key. Alright, last section of the mines. Kind of speed running a few of these areas, but again, I know them well enough that I think I've missed a treasure chest. It's not that big a deal. Most of the time, the only reason you want to be really thorough is if there's a if you're looking for some of the specific rare drops in some of the maps, like so I mentioned that the spells don't last forever. There is a way to get permanent versions of them, which are rings. They're artifacts, so like a cure ring, a thunder ring, and so on. And to get those, you have to get a certain score from whatever your goal is. Like, oh, is it not going to tell me? Oh, it might only tell you when you have the Game Boy on. But like, I had the one goal that was don't cast spells. So I might have to get a goal like deal damage or take damage or something to get my score up high enough to that gives that ring a chance to spawn. That kind of thing. Bonk. Silver spectacles. And the Moogle home! Oh, I forgot to look for the one in the... I forgot to get the one in Mushroom Forest. Oh well. Not that big a deal. Oh, it is the one that's just hovering down here. You'll notice that Mog's paint is coming off. Forgot what the point of doing it in the remaster was, because in this one it's mini-games. The remaster, they give you get something. I had all but one, because I was on the final level in the remaster. But I was out trying to farm a certain year before I finished. I think I had it in my head I wanted to get like the ultimate weapons or something before I beat the game. I had the ultimate element. Which makes travel so much easier. Okay, boss time. And it is the Orc Warlord dude. The Orc King. These intros are pretty great. Some of the death scenes are pretty terrifying, though. I know that the Goblin King one is actually pretty terrifying, or like it's horrible what happens to him. The thing is, like, magic wand explodes and then he gets sucked into his cauldron and he just burns. It's not as visceral as I make it sound. But yeah, this guy's really easy. The only issue is when his health gets low enough, and then you have to more or less DPS check through his self-destruct. And remember, in multiplayer, one player has to be carrying the chalice. That's the other thing that makes this game kind of interesting in multiplayer. Because you're gonna have to figure out where to place the chalice so that everybody can be attacking, or one person just has to try to keep up with the action. Just gonna spam that now. gotta make sure those little orcs aren't there because when he goes into his final phase, which is right here. So if I don't kill him fast enough, I will just... he will insta-kill me when he blows himself up. Because it scares you at first because you're like, oh crap, he's in a huge bubble, he's gonna hurt me if I'm close. But it's a trick. I think even when I played with my best friend at the time, I would be playing a uke and I would just be like, I would just defend and let him try, and if he failed, whatever. I still survive, so we win. That's what Phoenix Downs are for. But yay! I got the myrrh! And that means the town is safe for another year, because that's why we're collecting myrrh. Because the crystals in the town will lose power over time, so the caravans go out to find myrrh trees to reinvigorate their crystals, because they have to do it once a year, and if they don't, then the town dies. So the town's survival rests on me. Another letter from Mother. You miss our love? Oh, my poor, poor child. I'll survive, or I was just kidding. I've already sent them a seed, so until the seed sprouts something, I don't really need to get more, send more gifts. Inflict damage. See, that's an easy one to get a high score on. Alright. So... get a green beret. Yay, increase my strength permanently by 1. And one of my favorite things in the game. The diary from year 1. So at the end of each year, after you've collected 3 drops of myrrh, you come back to the village and it reads out all of your diary entries of everything you did. That the other players would be there even if you were playing, even if you were solo, all of your other made characters would be standing where those Moogles are. Not far from the village, someone called to me. The man introduced himself as Soul Rat, leader of the caravan from Alphataria. He recommended I ask the Moogle Stiltskin for advice, but I decided to hurry on instead. I wound my way through the vivid green hills and followed the path to reach the River Bell. All my tension seemed to flow away with the River Bell's serene currents. As I pressed onward, I slew many goblins. I soon saw a rainbow over a great waterfall. Who could have known that I would fight the giant crab surrounded by such beauty? And so he transfers the myrrh into the crystal, invigorating it for another year. And now, we dance! This is like one of my other favorite songs in the game. I came across the caravan from Alphataria today. The town was already abuzz with talk of the Black Knight, but Sol had more tales to tell. Sol spoke with such enthusiasm that he actually seemed to admire him. It is astonishing how quickly word of the Black Knight has spread, in spite of the way Miasma isolates every town. Every race has their own unique dance, which is also neat. I visited a Moogle nest for the first time. The Moogle there cheerfully welcomed me into his home. When it was time to go, I thought he looked a bit sad. I patted the bonbon on his head and bade him farewell. I wonder if all Moogles live so comfortably. The Miasma Stream. Many caravans have passed through, and now I will follow in their tracks. Someday, others will follow me. I feel like I have become a small part of history. Also, Selkie girls are hot. Just gonna throw that out there. Today I decided to take a side road for a change of pace. To my surprise, I heard someone call out to my caravan. It was a group of kindly-looking Clavets. A look at their clothes told me that they probably hailed from the fields of Thumb. Mars Pass. This land was once the home of the Lilties. With the iron weapons they wrought here, they once ruled the entire world. Now this place is but a small town at the crossroads. Time washes away everything. Joy, agony, everything. As I approach the mushroom forest, I somehow feel like I'm shrinking. Each toadstool I pass seems taller than the last. Now I know I am inside the forest. I'm walking along a rooftop of mushrooms. Although a Malboro blocked my path, I prevailed and collected a drop of myrrh. The Mine of Cthulhu's is a relic of the age of Lilshin reign. Orcs rule it now. As I ventured deep into the mine, I kept jumping at my own shadow, cast on the walls by the flickering lamp overhead. I found the Orc King waiting for me in the deepest cavern within. After my victory, I collected a drop of myrrh. With my first journey behind me, my caravan has finally come home. Before setting out, I had heard only stories of the world outside. Once out there, I found excitement, surprise, and a bit of hardship. Whenever I close my eyes, I vividly remember all my adventures as I searched for myrrh. Tonight is the festival. It's time to celebrate. Yay! And with that, a year passes in the village. And you can see what the streams are. So, what's interesting is you can't quite see it here, but how does it break down? So the one labeled for fire is the first miasma stream that you saw me go through. Then once we get through that, the water one is the one that's just past the Mines of Cthulhu's, and that leads to the next area. And from there, if we get Earth, then we can cross over to the final area on the main continent. Now currently we can't cross the river, but once we can cross the river, that's where the fields of Fum are. And if we have wind, then we can cross over to one more area, and that's where the mystery element, or the ultimate element, is needed to cross through to get to the final boss. Also not shown on the map is once the river is traversable again. Eventually, it will also open up that we can cross the ocean to one level that is a volcano, and the town of the Selkies, which is then linked to a desert. And the desert is actually where the Ultima element is. But you have to... there's a really obscure puzzle that you have to solve. Yay! Forge things for me, Dad. Yay, I got a new sword. Oh, I need more iron to make a shield. So yeah, like, this is the alchemist's house. I don't remember who winds up being here. This is the merchant's house over here. And then I think there's a fisherman somewhere around here. This is the farmer's house, and so on. What kind of sucks, though, is like the fisherman and the farmer, as I recall, aren't necessary at all. It's alchemist, blacksmith, merchant, and tailor. They're the ones that matter. The rest of them, they're neat, and it gives some more character to the area, but it's not really a big deal. Well, how was your first year out there? Before you set out again, there is something I must tell you. Be sure to come back, even if you can't fill your chalice with myrrh. There was once a young fool who sought to cleanse the world of miasma. Now miasma remains while nobody knows what's become of the boy. Every one of us is bound to fate. Straying from your destiny will only invite danger. Remember these words, you must return to Avendor! Now farewell! So the Riverbell Path is... the tree isn't filled in because it's not available this year. They replenish every 2 years, I want to say. And I need fire for this one, so I have to go to the Goblin Wall. Excuse me. Oh wow, I have a save file that's on the 5th year and I'm in the desert. I have 24 hours on that save file. I definitely left that game idle. Alright, excuse me while I take one more bathroom break. And I'll be right back. Alright, we're back, and nobody reminded me I forgot to put the hat back on after my last bathroom break. How dare you guys let me forget. Alright, to the goblin wall, and I need the fire element here. I like the music here, but this level's kind of obnoxious.
The threat of monsters.
I think it's worse in
weighs
multiplayer,
upon the
though.
mind of every traveler. Brave Lilties purged the roads of danger long ago. But monsters still lurk about, biding their time in the nooks and crannies of the world. Goblin Wall is one such place. As they say, wherever there is light, there is shadow.
Shadow.
I wonder if we will ever be rid of their menace.
Goblin Wall. Just me, or is there a slight sound lag? There is definitely. Let me reset this real quick. I think that's something to do with the way the yeah, now it's lined up. So because I have to run this is playing on a Wii, so I have to run the Wii's, what are they called? The red, white, yellow cables, AV cables, into a converter to HDMI to the capture card. I think that's what's causing that tiny bit of discrepancy. It's a lifestone. I don't want a lifestone. I need a... I've got Cure and I've got Blizzard, so I just need a Fire or a Thunder because those bats are flying, so I need to use Gravity on them. So the reason I don't like this level, though, is because it has the most backtracking of all the levels in the game, because you have to hit these skulls to open up all of these doors. And some of these doors have progress behind them. So you wind up just having to go all the way up here. Oh, that's a big goblin. To hit all of the little skulls. To open all the passageways. I don't know. It's not, like, the worst thing in the world. It's not offensive or anything mechanically. It's just annoying. Because I'll go all the way up here, hit as many of these as I can, so that I can go down and hit all of the treasure chests. But you definitely want to do it because it's treasure. There's a better weapon. I don't know what the point of that little passage was, but... Oh, I do remember what the passage was for. Hey, I got another heart. There he is. Oh, where'd it go? There's a Moogle home hidden in the dark there. Alright, stamp my card. Yay, I got a Moogle. Got a Moogle stamp. Hip hip huzzah. I only remember that because I hunted down every single Moogle house in the remaster. I was absolutely determined to get every Moogle stamp, whether it was worth it or not. But I still didn't get the one on the last map again because I hadn't played the last map in the remaster, primarily due to wanting to accomplish some of the other stuff before I did the final level. Now, in the remaster, they did add more. I don't think they added more levels per se, but they added like an extra hard mode post-game. So there's stuff after you beat the story. So there really wasn't a need for me to wait, but I think I still wanted to have just about the best stuff that I could get before finishing the game, to be ready for that post-game content. Death to the goblins! Alright. Welcome back, mean cow. Alright, there's nothing in this. That's why they did it that way. Did you have fun doing whatever it was you had to do? How now, mean cow? It's a going though. Finished the first year of the game's timeline, meaning I beat the first 3 levels. So this is the beginning of year 2. The first couple years of this game's, the first few levels are kind of always the same. Now, I could have actually... Oh, gosh. Dang it. can't remember what element works against those. I think it's Blizzard, though. But yeah, once you get... So, like, on the first year, I actually, instead of going to the Mushroom Forest, I actually could have gone to the mines and then gotten the fire element there and actually gone to the third area in the game a year early. But that's not really a good idea. Stop trying to attack the wall. Wait, what's attacking me? Oh, an enemy up above me is casting spells at me. But the thing is that once you get to year 3 or 4, you actually start having to repeat levels you've already beaten. And in the game's defense, they do, the second time you go to a level, it gets harder. There are new enemies, the boss has more health, and occasionally has maybe one new thing in the room. Generally just more or new types of enemies backing it up. But, and then it'll upgrade again. So every level gets 3 difficulty levels. So, nothing too major, but nothing too crazy. But, you know, it's cool. The only real issue that comes with that is that is a... because everything is linked to the town and not any of the individual characters, that does mean that if you wanted to level a new character, you would be you could be having to play a brand new, fresh-faced character into, you know, level 3 dungeons. And while it's not impossible... Okay, this just loops back around to the entrance. It's not impossible, it's not even that hard. Well, it is pretty hard. You know, it makes things take a lot longer. So just more reason why multiplayer is good, because at least then one player can carry if really needed. That's actually one of the big failings of the remaster, in that multiplayer is just really friggin' hard to like, if I'm wanting to level up a brand new character, I'm probably going to want to crash other people's online games so that I can try to filch upgrades. And I mean, even here, it's actually, in a way, worse. Because I don't have, you know, if I'm playing only alone, then, you know, I've got to deal with all of it by myself with no one to back me up. So, they both have their drawbacks. I wouldn't really say one is better than the other in that one specific case. Ah. Friggin' lightning jellyfish. Oh, I definitely want that iron. I'll eat those grapes. Alright, and that is the door to the boss. There's another treasure chest. And a blocked off passage, and more enemies. It sucks that it's sometimes really hard to, like, hit enemies accurately. It's really only the case when they're hovering, but still. I don't know what that is, but I probably want it. Let's eat a carrot. Alright, boss time. Boss! I'm gonna kill Jarrett. Time to fight the Goblin King. So it's kind of interesting at the start. So I have to survive, fight my way through a bunch of his minions first. Who drop these keys so that I can get to him, and then the boss fight properly starts. Now we can start the fight. And of course, he still gets minions. And these minions suck because their attacks push you back and they stagger you. Ah, got me with the Thundara. But of all the bosses, he has, like, the lowest health, so that's nice. I think I already said that, but whatever. Friggin' teleports. Got it. Like I said, this is kind of terrifying. His wand explodes or whatever, and then it gets sucked into his furnace and then it just burns. So, kids, don't do goblin voodoo magic. Or you might get burned. But yeah, this game is still a huge nostalgia trip for me. Especially because I only played it with one friend, so we were always having to fight over who was going to carry the chalice, because that person moves slower and also doesn't get to fight as much. That was always fun. Mail Moogle at your service, Kupo. Kupo! I think this was also the first game that I played that actually had Moogles. I don't remember if I played this or Kingdom Hearts first. Oh, message from my mother, Fields of Fun. I hear that the striped apples from the farm are much better than the ones on the market. If I recall correctly, star carrots and gourd potatoes were their specialties. I'll try them, or whatever. So do I want to channel my inner Cloud? Or do I want to, be nice to my mother? Here, I'll send her a gourd potato. So long, Kupo! Inflict damage. Alright. Unfortunately, I am going to have to take the hat off because I am feeling warm. And wearing that hat is definitely going to make that worse. Wow, magic +3, huh? I feel like I got it. Even though I'm not really doing a lot of magic, I feel like that would be stupid not to take. Alright. Oh, got an event. Ooh, Black Knight. That's the Black Knight's theme. Hello there. How was everything with you? You ran into the Black Knight, you see. I've always wanted to see how strong a warrior he really is, so I challenged him. He fought with nothing as disciplined as swordsmanship. He just lunged at us wildly while shouting something. Just like a great storm, terrible and full of wrath. Should you ever see the Black Knight on your travels, stay as far away from him as you can. But yeah, that's the Black Knight's theme. The music in this game is just so good. I might even dare to say it is the best soundtrack on the GameCube. I'm looking at my shelf because I'm wanting to make sure I don't contradict myself. Because there are specific songs in games like Sonic Adventure, Sonic Adventure 2, Tales of Symphonia, but I mean, even Twilight Princess, the original Animal Crossing, I don't think any of them have a comprehensive soundtrack that competes with Crystal Chronicles. of games that I've played. Obviously, there's a pretty solid chance that there's some game with an even better soundtrack on the GameCube that I just didn't play. And I hope that was apparent with my, or at least how much I love this one, with just my horrible, horrible singing. Nope, I didn't mean to hit that. I'm trying to remember what the... Oh, I don't think there's a way for me to check without just going to the miasma stream. Well, that's fine. I'll stop at Mars Pass anyway, because I need to see if I can craft any weapons and sell a bunch of stuff. I don't have an alloy. Well, at least I can upgrade my shield. What? One customer said that people have grown chronically forgetful of late. I knew we were due for another epidemic. So we're dealing with the pandemic. The preacher travels across the land giving aid to those in need. Of sickness. And I'm in this, they're dealing with a pandemic of forgetfulness. Is that guy's name Cecil? It was. There are no merchants here? Oh. Okay. Well, I think this one was water? Nope. There's that Alphataria. Hail, caravaner! Greetings and good day! And that's it. That was the whole event. It's those little tiny things that, just to let you know, hey, you are going to be passing other people. I feel like the next time I get a chance to run a game, you know, those are the kind of things that should be thrown in. Oh look, it's Stiltskin again. Hello, enjoying your journey? You know, I've been thinking. You're aware that monsters can live just fine in the miasma, right? And we Moogles aren't really affected by miasma either. This got me wondering, could Moogles be monsters too? It's been on my mind a lot lately. In fact, I set out on this trip hoping to find the answer. Of course, if I find out that we are monsters, it won't really make a big difference. Oh, there's my new shield. It's kind of funny, your armor actually does not change your appearance, but your weapons and defense, like the unique. Actually, I think it's just the shield. I don't remember if the Lilties. I don't remember if the Lilties gauntlets changed. And Selkies, their defensive items are belts. I remember that now. Alright. Well, guess what? We get to go to Alphataria now. Where Sol Rapt is from. So I did learn that in the remaster, there's actually there was a new quest added that fleshes out this town a bit more. You actually get to interact with the princess. Found a Moogle. Give me my stamp. Alright, now I gotta find a merchant so I can sell things. A merchant that's actually a merchant. There we go. I don't really need that many Phoenix Downs. So, just as an interesting little side note, Phoenix Downs can be used by yourself as long as you just equip them into your words. If you have them equipped in your quick slots or action slots, that's what they're called, then they'll auto-res you when you die. Strange Liquid, that's a funny item. It heals you, but if you are a Uke, it's even more effective. And I think that's because it comes from the Uke homeland of Shelob. None may pass. And then I walked through, but the gate's closed. But I still passed him. So, if you hadn't quite gathered yet, though, the whole theme of this game is memory. That's why the Crystal Chronicle, that keeps track of everything you do, people talk about forgetting things. So I'm... Alright, I'm gonna do one more. Tita.
The sun once smiled on this village more than any other. But one day, Bear Crystal's blessing faded. The villagers eagerly awaited their caravan's return. But for them, the crystal would never shine again. It is said that not a single one of them tried to escape. All stood fast, waiting for the caravan, hoping to the very end. After hearing that tale, I felt the weight of my burden like never before.
So this village is what happens if you fail. This is what you're preventing. That's why it's really melancholic song. You know, I don't think I ever properly appreciated this song before. Friggin' bug poisoned me. Just keeping my distance from that bug so it doesn't, so they can't poison me. Where's that gremlin going? I don't usually run that far away. Gellermans. Because of course it's skeletons in the dead village. It is very sad, though. So it's the skeletons I'm fighting are, of course, the former villagers here. Oh gosh. Oh, I barely got that cure off. Oh, there's so many enemies. Why are there so many enemies? Make them go away. Make the bad monsters go away. Alright, well there's one down. There's 2, 3. And fire is the most important spell here because you have to burn things all over the place. It's actually part of why I hate this level too. It's not bad, and I don't hate it in like a, oh my god, I don't want to do this. It's more of just a, it can be a little bit tedious solo because you have, I mean, multiplayer is also kind of a pain because, and you'll see why, but there are, there's a whole section where there's just a whole bunch of passageways you have to clear with fire, and they reset after a few seconds. And especially when you have one player only one person casting the spells, and you're trying to get through, and then the thing comes back, and then you gotta burn it again. It becomes messy. And I played this 4 players online, dealing with that, and it was never not annoying. And it wasn't the fault of any of the people in the group either. They did a great job. I remember every group I did this with, everybody was doing a good job at trying to keep everything burned. The only issue was occasionally, we get turned around, or we loop around, or somebody was trying to find something and didn't realize that, that was just a lack of communication more than anything, but it doesn't have built-in communications, so... Oh, this is the section, so... It's sort of a maze that you also have to cast fire to get through. But I think I remember my way through it. So for the most part, you're just constantly trying to go north. And in this particular section, you're going northeast until you can't go east anymore, and then you just go west. But as long as you're going north after the first northeast bit, it is possible for Mog to get stuck too, and that sucks. And Mog is stuck on the other side. And I'm poisoned. But you see how irritating that can be when somebody's stuck on the other side, and maybe the person who casts fire gets through, but the chalice winds up stuck on the other side. I think it's this one. Alright, we are almost at the boss, though. And this is me blitzing it, ignoring all the stuff. I didn't go look for the Moogle house or anything. just skip the flowers because they can't do anything. Ah! Got myself poisoned again. And I never got a clear stone. Beat up the caterpillars. Friggin' poison. But it's the boss in here. Did anybody watch the end of my stream yesterday? Or not the end, but the last boss that I fought last night? The house. Because guess how we're ending tonight? Another Final Fantasy game where I have to fight a house. And they're only 15 years apart. The Oogie Boogie Treehouse. Somebody in the Square Enix team just really hates houses. Although, if we're being honest here, it's all probably Baba Yaga. I believe it's Baba Yaga. That has the living house. Actually, speaking of the Baba Yaga house, that was a, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of or seen War Machine and Hordes. It's a miniatures game. Fairly popular, although it's been losing popularity steadily over the years. But they did have a Baba Yaga house model, and it was great. I think it was, for lore reasons, it wound up being in 2 factions, which was really uncommon for that game. But I think that's because it released initially for 1 faction, and then they added a 2nd faction that was like all nightmare monsters. And that nightmare monster group, she wound up fitting that theme so perfectly that they just dropped her in that too. I wish I could remember what the second, or what those factions were called, because I really wanted to get that faction. because it was like it was more or less a Twisted Fairy Tales faction. So the models were like scarecrows with pumpkin heads and you know, all that kind of stuff. I have one model from that faction. It's called Skin and Bones, and it's a huge, it's like a flesh construct, and it has stretched out skin all over its body with a bunch of visible faces, and it was stitched together from the flesh of serial killers. So like Jack the Ripper and stuff are all killed and their faces are visible, stretched and screaming across its body. And in the game mechanics, it gets stronger every time it kills enemies as it adds them to its body. Terrifying, creepy, but really friggin' cool. There was one other model that was really funny. It was, I'm trying to remember exactly what it was, because the idea was, it was like piggyback, where you'd have, but where somebody would be riding on a pig, but instead it was a person carrying the animal instead of the other way around. I just can't remember what the animal was. I want to say it was pigs, and they were holding lances, and so the model was people carrying pigs with spears charging into people. And there was another one that was like little goblins wearing goofy, oversized helmets, and they were a cavalry unit, and they had stick horses, but the head on the end was a horse's like severed head. So at a first glance you're like, oh, that's kind of funny and cute, and then you look at it and you're like, oh. Man, my mom is just shell. I definitely recommend the rainbow grapes. There's also this mysterious liquid, but there's no way I'm gonna drink that. I can tell that I'll get sick from it just by that awful scent and taste. It smells fine to me, or it's all the same. I wish I had some of the strange liquid to send her. I'll send her some spring water, though. That's a nice gift. When she's complaining about bad water. Bye-bye! So long, Kupo! Don't cast spells in a place where you have to cast spells to progress. Oh, the Chocobo Pocket, but the Twisted Headband, +2 strength, but another action slot is so much better. And those extra action slots are more important in single player than multiplayer. Because a multiplayer, between everybody, you know, you have 4 item slots right off the bat with just 2 players. Between the 2 of you, you know, one person can have, like, Cure and Thunder, and the other person can have Clear and Blizzard. And then you have all of the, well, I guess you'd only have Gravity between you, but you'd be able to cover all of that. But I have 4 slots as a single character to make up for all of that. Alright, but that will conclude us for the night. go ahead and hit it. Just chatting real quick. Excuse me. So I know since this is nightly review, I would, I do wish that I really need to figure out a grading scale or whatever that's not like an out of 10 or out of 5, but not necessarily something as hard to follow as, I can't think of a good example. I know there's some people who make, like, Pro Jared, just another, streamer and YouTuber content creator that I very much enjoy. He used to do reviews where he'd conclude them by describing a game as a canceled Christmas out of 10 or a bee sting out of 10 or something. But I would like to give something that's a little more... I want something concise, but isn't quite like an out of 10. Because I think I said it before that it really causes issue to me to sort of feel like you're calling two games equal even if you like them for very, very different reasons. And those scales aren't terribly helpful. Just like saying, I don't know, if you said Dark Souls is an 8 out of 10 and Stardew Valley is an 8 out of 10, and then you sit here and you look, like, you just glance at them side by side and you're like, how are these two things in the same slot with those 8 out of 10, with those out of 10 scales? But with all of that said, I will go ahead and try to assign this game a score, and I would, as much as I love it, I would probably give it maybe a 6 out of 10, maybe a 5 out of 10, like just average, because graphically for the time, it's very nice. The stylistic choices help with, being very cartoony, help with the GameCube's limited the technology of the time. So it doesn't have the issue of trying to be realistic, and now it doesn't hold up. The music, as I said, is one of my absolute all-time favorite soundtracks overall on the GameCube. The interaction, even the really shallow scenes and having relatives mailing you stuff, all of that stuff is just it's really immersive. It does really drag you into the game world, and you want to save the people. You want to see who you're gonna see on your travels. The biggest shortcomings of the game actually didn't come up for this particular night, but the game does get really, really repetitive, because you want to replay levels over and over to get more artifacts to power your characters up, and then and you even want to, like, the ones that don't have mercuries don't progress time, so you can play those levels repeatedly until you get all of the artifacts from that area, or all of that you're aiming for, before you move on to the next level. And that really, really does, if you're not really enjoying the game, especially if you're not playing it with friends, it is better with friends. But, you've got this issue of everybody needing a link cable and a Game Boy Advance to play the original, and the remaster, it's a little bit easier, but you have to connect at every single dungeon instead of, like, if we were to play it together, and we'll say I was just going to Tita. I would go into Tita and make a lobby. Then everybody could join in. We'd play the level, and then we were like, okay, now we're going to move on to River Bell Path. Well, now we have to dissolve the lobby. I have to go to River Bell Path open a new lobby, and then everybody has to find it and rejoin, and then we can play it. So it winds up being that more that you just want to play it to keep farming the same areas over and over to save time on all of that, and nobody will be progressing their story at that point. So you're running into a lot of issues to make the multiplayer happen, even though it is really fun in multiplayer. So it just winds up being really rough either way, but this is still a personal favorite for me. Just because, and that's a little bit nostalgia, but that's why I'm also like, I know it is not a great game. It's very bare bones combat, and they're only like 12 levels, and you just repeat them with new enemies. And once you hit a certain point, there is nothing new to see. So there you have it. I'm gonna go look for somebody to raid. So thank you guys so much for watching. I will make sure that we get that horrible karaoke section separated permanently on Twitch and YouTube. But thank you guys so much for watching. Have yourselves a great night. Stick around while I find somebody to raid.